Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this channel named Geeks for Geeks School. Thank you very much, first of all, for joining me at this time in this tutorial. So, as you guys already know, that in the previous lecture, I told you about this Kivy module, right? So, because I'm using a 32-bit operating system and it's Sublime Text on which I'm working, so unfortunately, I was not able to create the virtual environment on the command prompt which is required to run this py file. Why? Because I have my design in this kv file, so it's like HTML, it's like the combination of HTML and CSS. So this you can take it as an HTML file, and this is the CSS file in which all my designing code is there. Now, in order to run this py file along with this kv file, we need to create a virtual environment, but unfortunately I was not able to do that. So what I am doing today is, instead of making use of Kivy, I am going to tell you how you can use KIVYMD, which is a, you can say, an advanced version of Kivy library. So KIVYMD is also used for designing mobile applications, right? So we guys will be doing KIVYMD in place of Kivy now. I'm removing all this code from here also. I'm closing this file, and okay. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to import the KivyMD module, right? I'm already done with installing the KivyMD module on my device. I just have to import it here. So for doing that, we can simply write from kivymd.app import. So in Kivy, we used to use this thing app, but when it comes to KivyMD, it becomes MD app in place of app, right? Then from this KivyMD.uix, I would like to import label, which is going to help us in defining the different kind of labels. So in the Kivy module, we used to put label like this, but when it comes to Kivy MD, we need to add MD also to this label like this. Okay, rest, see, everything is same. The only thing which is different is this MD, which I have added to this app and label here, right? Okay, it's time for us to now define the main class, or you can say the application class. So it is a demo app, and I would like to pass this MD app as a parameter to this. Like this we can do it, right? And then we can define this function build, and we're going to pass self to this. Now what is the self? Self is your mobile application which you are developing, right? So the first thing I would like to see is a label, right? I am telling you the basics of KVMD right now. Okay, so how can we define a label on our application? So you can use this MD label. For doing the same, just put MD label like this, and then whatever text you want to see getting reflected as a label on your what you call it, mobile applications screen. So you can simply put it over here like this. So I would like to see hello world, and finally, in order to get it reflected, I need to get the value of this label also from this function. And how can we do that? We can simply use this return function, return label. So it will return label to us finally. And then how can we run this demo app named class? So we can simply put the name of the class, and then this brackets, and then run. Okay, this is going to run our this demo app class. Now let's build it on Python and see whether we'll be able to get the required output or not. Okay, so you can see this mobile app screen is there, right? And we are able to see this text hello world getting reflected over here. So it is working perfectly fine. Now, if you want to customize this label, how you will do it? So it's also very simple. If suppose you want to align it in the center, so h align is the attribute you can use, and then you can simply pass the value to it. So it's like inline styling. There are three types of ways in which we can import CSS on an HTML document, right? So the first one is inline, then external linking is there, then there is internal linking. So the one which I'm using, it is very much similar to inline linking, if you know about it. So now if suppose you want to customize the theme text color you can use, and now there are some specific colors which you can pass to this theme text color. If you want, you can just check out the different types of values you can pass to it on the internet. Just surf it on the internet, you will get the answer. So error is one of the values we can pass to it. Let's see, if I'll pass error to this theme text color, what is going to happen to this text. So earlier this hello world was getting reflected in the left side, just next to the border, right? So now what will happen to the text? Will it come in the center or not? Yes. So it has shifted from this end in the center, and besides it is getting reflected in red. Why? Because we have passed this value error to it. Now if I'll pass primary, let's see what's going to happen to our text. It has changed to black. So these are some values you can pass to this. Now if you want to further get a good hold on this text color part, what you can do? So you can, let me just pass secondary first, and after that I'll show you how you can pass simple colors to it. So that's the way. So now it is getting reflected in a gray color. Earlier when I passed primary, it was getting reflected in black, and now it's in gray. So these are some of the values you can pass to this theme text color, right? Now if you want to set it to custom, so you can do it like this. So custom, and now what you can do, you can simply take this text underscore color. Let me just increase the size of this font so that everything can be more visible to you and you guys can live the code. Okay, so text color, and then we can pass a tuple to it. So RGBA, you know very well. I'm going to pass 0 1 0, and for opacity let's make it 1. So R is 0, G is 1, B is 0, and for A I have passed 1. Now if I will run the code, so let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so it's in green right now. Why? Because for this G I have passed 1, right? So now you can customize the color, and if suppose you want to get a good hold on the font style, you want to change the font style, you want to play with the font style, how you'll do it? So that's the property font style you can use for doing the same. And there are some specific values which you can pass for this font style. So for that, you guys have to check the KIVYMD documentation, which you can easily find on the internet. Let me just show it to you once. So it's an amazing library, you guys can use for creating full-fledged mobile applications. I love it a lot. Why? Because it's very handy, it's very user-friendly, and it's very simple to understand. If you know about HTML, CSS, then you are not going to face any difficulty, because everything is almost the same. The way we work in with HTML and CSS, in the same way we can work on KIVYMD also. The coding is completely different. Yes, the concepts are almost the same. And if you know about Kivy app, Kivy library, sorry, definitely you will face no problem in understanding KIVYMD. But if you don't know any of these two languages, then also nothing is going to happen. You will be able to understand each and everything. Just follow the steps which I am showing you. So in order to find out the documentation we have on the internet, you can simply type here. It's not coming. Just a second. Let me check if everything on the channel is going fine or not, because why am I not able to access Google? And this thing is also not good. Yeah, now it is perfectly fine. Okay, I think there is some. Hi, Malhar. Thank you very much, dear, for joining in. Okay, I think no problem. I'm not able to access Google right now. I don't know what's happening. Maybe there is some issue with my browser. So I would like to continue with this thing, this coding part, right? So now, as I was telling you, the this about this font style, how you can play with the font style of your label, how you can customize it. So you can pass values like this. There is this value caption you can pass for this font style. Let's pass it and run this code and see what's going to happen. So as you can see, the text has become really very small, right? So that's the way you can just uh, customize the font style. Okay, you don't want to keep it caption, you don't want to caption it, so you can just remove it like this. And now if you will run the code, so that's what you are going to get. Okay, now let me just tell you how you can pass an icon, like how you can create an icon of on your app window. So let's have this uh, variable icon label, and we're going to have our MD icon. So that's the function, that's the, you can say, feature or parameter you can take into consideration for creating an icon on your mobile applications window. But the way we have imported this MD label in the same way, we'll have to import this MD icon also, use it in our code. So MD icon, we can import it like this, and then we can put these brackets icon. So which icon would you like to import? So there are again some specific values you can pass to this icon attribute. You can easily find it in the KIVYMD documentation. Right now I'm not able to access that KIVYMD page, but why in the end definitely I'm going to show you what are the different things you can type in the search box in order to access the KivyMD documentation page, where you can find the values of all these things and various other things related to KivyMD, right? So I would like to have this language Python uh, icon, and I would like to have it in the center. So that's the reason passing center to this H align, right? Okay, now instead of passing label, I would like to pass icon underscore label, in which I have my icon. So saving the changes and running the file. Okay, I am getting an error here. Now what's the error? So here it says object takes exactly one argument, the instance to initialize. Why is it giving us an error? Demo app run. Okay, I think there is some issue with this code. Now, what's that issue? We'll have to check it out. Icon label, perfectly fine. Icon. Let me just change it to small I. I think now it's gonna give us the correct output. Yes, so I am able to see this Python icon now getting reflected right in the center of this beautiful mobile app window. Right, if you want, I can change it to something else. So there is this language video, uh, you know, value which I can pass to this icon. Let's see what are we going to get. So we are not getting anything right now. Why is it so? Okay, it's not the correct name. Maybe it is, I think, library video, as far as I remember. Library video. Let me just run it. Why this is not giving us the output? Going back, library video, it's correctly defined. Maybe they have removed the icon, that's the reason now it is not accessible. But yes, it's there are a couple of what we call it values you can pass to this icon. So you can get it from the KIVYMD documentation which is there on the internet. Let's now come on the next part. So what I am doing here is I'm going to remove all these things from here, right? And I'm going to tell you now about how you can create screens, okay, for your mobile application. So the first thing we need to do right on the top over here is we need to import the screen feature. So it's there in KivyMD dot uix dot screen, and you can import it like this. So make sure that s of this screen is in small and s of this screen is in capital, right? Then we have this class, we have this function build, okay, and inside this I would like to create a screen. So how can we create a screen for our mobile application? It's very simple. We can we can use a variable, and then we can use this function screen, right? And we can have, okay, so that's the first thing you need to define inside it. And then if you want to have, suppose, a flat button, a button inside on your screen, so for creating that button you again need to import from this kivymd dot uix dot button, a kind of button. So there are different types of button you can create on your mobile application using this KVMD. So I'm going to tell you first about MD flat button, right? It's a type of button. Okay, so how can we create a flat button on this screen which we have defined the code for here inside this build function? Let's check it out. So we need to have a variable first, right? So the concept is same, put a variable and then use this MD flat button. So it's going to behave, you have to define it like a function, put the brackets, and then inside it you can use this property text, right? Like the way we have different properties for different attributes in HTML, here also we have different properties for which we have different values for these, functions, or you can say features that we import here. Okay, so if you want to see, let's say, hello world getting reflected on this button as a text, so you can just pass it as a value to this button, right? And then you'll have to add it to the screens widget also. That's the second step. Just keep the keep noting the steps you have to follow. You have defined the button here. The button is going to come in this variable, and then the you have to add it to this widget. And how you'll do it? So add underscore widget. That's the thing which we used in Kivy. In Kivy also, if you remember, in the lecture I shooted earlier. So screen dot add widget is the function using which you can add this MD flat button to the screen. Now we can simply copy the variable's name from here and we can put it inside these brackets. Finally, what we have to do, we'll have to return something. Now what we will return? So everything is coming in this screen. This screen function is there in this screen. This finally we have added this variable also into this screen, so we can return, we can ask the function to return us the value of this variable screen to us, right? Let's save the changes and run the code and see what is going to happen. What are we going to get? So we are getting this beautiful window and there is a text which says hello world. Is it a text or a button? Let me just click this thing and see whether it's a clickable object or not. If it is a clickable object, then it means it's a button. Okay, so I'm able to click it, and when I click it, what happens? We see a gray background. Okay, so it means that it's a button, right? It's not a text, it's a button. So that's MD flat button. Now, if suppose you want to play with the position of it, you want to align it somewhere, you want to see it at a specific position. So pose hint, that's the attribute you can use. And let me just tell you how you can pass the values to this position hint. So of course there are two things, X attribute and Y attribute. So you'll have to put it inside these brackets. So it's like a dictionary in which you'll have to pass the value to this position hint variable, and then center underscore X, and we can put this thing 0.5 here. Similarly, we can copy this entire thing, we can put it over here, and I'm changing it to Y. Right, let me just save the changes and run the code once and see whether we are going to get the required output or not. So why we are getting this error now, that's what we'll have to check for uh, MD flat button. This is perfectly fine, text is there. Then we have this position hint, okay. Center, okay, we have to put it inside single inverted commas because it's a string, right? Now if I will run the code, I hope I'll get the output. Okay, so you can see we are getting the button right in the middle, right in the center. Okay, so that's the way you can uh, use the button. You can play with the position of the button. Let me just close the window now, and I'm going to tell you about MD rectangular flat button. So I'm copying this and let me just put it here, and in place of this MD flat button I'm going to have MD rectangular flat button. So this is another kind of button which you can define on your mobile application, and it's there available in this KIVYMD.uix.button library. Okay, let me just run this code. So I've just changed this. Okay, so it is showing us this error. Now I'll have to check why it is showing us this error. Is it not correctly defined? MD rectangle. Okay, it should be rectangle, not rectangular. That's the reason. Rectangle. Okay. So I think now we'll get the correct output. No, the spelling is again not correct. MD rectangle flat button correctly spelled. So we are able to get this button on the screen and it's looking very beautiful. So that's the MD rectangle flat button. What's the difference between the two? We are getting a boundary, a nice boundary over here, right, with this MD rectangle flat button. And with the previous one, in the previous one, we were not getting this boundary. Okay, it's time for us to now see what is this, what is the third type of button, which is MD icon button. So I am copying this whole thing, putting a comma, and let's change this whole thing with icons. So MD icon button, and so we have this button in this button flat, and I'm going to have another because I want to have another button on my screen. So what I am doing, I'm going to define another variable for this MD icon and then button, and inside this I can use this icon named what we call it icon named attribute, and I would like to have this Android icon on my screen. So there are various types of values you can pass to this icon. If you want, you can check out the KIVYMD documentation again, right, for knowing what are the different values you can pass to this icon name attribute. It's time for us to define a specific position for this Android icon. So what I am doing, I'm copying this whole thing from here, and let me just put it simply over here like this. And in place of now, the next thing I will have to do is I'll have to add this icon button also to my screen, and let me change the position a little bit. So instead of 0.5, passing 0.35 x. Okay, let me run this. Okay, so I am getting this error. Why am I getting this error? It is icon underscore btn, not flat. That's the issue. So I'm getting a beautiful icon, and next to it I am getting a button also. Right, so there are two different things which I am getting right now. Let me just close it and change this icon to language Python. So if I'll do it, let's see what is going to happen. Language dash Python, and running the code. I am getting a beautiful Python logo on my mobile screens window, right? So that's the way you can add these things, this icon also to your mobile application, and we are able to click it. Why because it's a type of button. That's the reason we're able to click it. Now let me just close this window, and I would like to tell you now about MD floating action button. So this is the third type of button which we can define on our mobile application screen. MD floating action button. Now what I am doing, I'm copying this whole thing and I am putting it in place of this MD icon button. Okay, and let's save the changes and run the application. So we are getting a nice circle around this beautiful icon, right? So see, so this is looking much beautiful in comparison to the previous one. Am I right, everyone? Okay, now let me just close this window. Okay, so these are various types of what we call it buttons that we can add to our application which we are making using KIVYMD. Now if suppose you want to play with the colors, how you will do it? So what we can do, we can simply come up over here. That's the applications class, right? And what is this self over here? As I've told you in the beginning, it's our mobile app which we are developing. How we'll play with the theme of this application. So for that we can make use of this self thing, and then there is this thing theme underscore cls and primary underscore palette. Make sure that the spelling of this palette is correct, because most of the times it happens that Most of the developers make mistakes in the spelling of this palette, so make sure it is correct. So I would like to define a green palette for my uh, mobile application. Let me just run it and see what are we going to get. So you can see everything is in green now. So that's how you can control the theme of your mobile app. If you want, you can pass something like let's make it yellow. So we can pass yellow to it. Let's check out what are we going to get. So everything is in yellow now. This button and this MD flat button is also is in yellow. Okay, can we have it in black? I think we can have a black button also. Okay, black we cannot pass. So there are some specific values you can pass to this theme underscore class dot primary palette, right? Okay. Now let me just tell you how can you control the primary hue. What is this primary hue? So if I'll put this yellow here and I run this code, so it's looking very light right now, right? How can you control the hue, that is brightness or contrast of these colors you're using in your theme? So self dot theme underscore cls dot, so there is this thing primary underscore hue, with the help of which you can control the brightness and transparency of your colors. So there are some, again, some specific values you can pass to it. If suppose you want to keep it very light, we can pass this value 100. Let's see what's going to happen to the colors. So you see this button is visible to us, but the circle, the color in the circle is very light. And this button is not at all visible to us, right? The text is not at all visible to us. So now if you want to make it dark, so as to make it look clearly visible, so A700 is a value. That's the highest value you can pass for this primary hue. So see, now the buttons are more visible to us, right? So that's the way you can control the hue. And then if you want to control this style, the theme style, there is this thing self dot theme underscore cls dot theme underscore style, and to this you can pass only two types of values. One is this dark, okay, and if you'll simply run it, so you will get a dark window like this, a black color window. And I think the other one is white. Let me just check it. I am not able to, okay, it's not white, I think it's light. Yeah, it's light. So that is these are the two values you can pass to this one. But I would like to keep it dark for now, because dark is looking much more attractive in comparison to the light one. Yeah, so the color is these buttons are looking so beautiful on it. So that is these are some basic things you need to keep in mind when you're working with KIVYMD. Okay, I will tell you about some more basic things in the next lecture, which I will shoot tomorrow. And there are going to be some more lectures which I will shoot definitely on the basis of KIVYMD. So as to tell you exactly how you can use these basic things for developing full-fledged applications, full-fledged mobile applications, how you can make your app mobile friendly, how you can make the content of your application mobile friendly. That too also I will be guiding you about. So please don't skip anything. Watch the complete video so that you can gain the complete knowledge. I'm not able to access Google. I think my browser is not working fine. No problem. I'll show it to you tomorrow. I think I'll take the snapshots and then I'll show you how you can reach to the KIVYMD documentation. But if you want, I can just tell you simply like this. A KIVYMD documentation is what you have to type in the search box of Google, and when you will hit the enter button, you will get redirected on a web page where right on the top you'll find the hyperlink through which you can get yourself redirected on the web page where you can find everything related to KIVYMD documentation, right? So you understand the basic things first, which I am telling you, and then you can just memorize the various values you can pass to these attributes, right? With which you can make your applications content, its theme look more beautiful. I hope it's clear to all of you. Let me now check the comment section if I have anything to answer. Definitely I'll answer that query or queries. And thank you very much to all the students who are there with me right now. And if you're not there, so please do not skip anything. Please watch the complete video till the end so that you can get to know about this KiwiMD app fully. You can, because you know, the more you will learn about this KiwiMD, the more clear the basics will be to you. You will be able to create more, a very more good application. So this is it from my side in this lecture. Hope you guys enjoyed this one a lot. Thank you very much for joining me in this tutorial. In case while coding, while defining these codes in your platform, whatever platform you're using for this Python coding, in case you come across any issue, do let me know in the comment box, or else you can also talk to me in the next lecture I'm going to shoot tomorrow at the same time, that is 5:30. So we'll again talk about some basic things of KiwiMD, right? So you can let me know in the comment box of tomorrow's lecture, which I am going to shoot in the at the same time on this GFG school channel. There is one more channel which I am running. Its name is Gaurav Kumar Jain, right? So you can just visit it. If you don't know about Python, definitely you will find some very good uh, videos on Python on that channel. If you don't know about block based coding, you're new to coding and you want to learn coding, so just start with block based coding first. You can find all the tutorials related to block based coding on my channel, and here also on this channel you can find everything. The GFG is right now providing some amazing courses to the students. If you want to avail those courses, you want the help of some mentors who can guide you about these coding things, so you can just check out those courses which Geeks4Geeks has come up with for you guys on its main website. So you can just visit the main website, select the course which you want to go for, and then in case you have any queries, you can get in touch with our executives, right? They'll help you out in sorting all your queries, and if you want, I can help you guys out, no problem in that. Fine. This is it